Again. Okay, so we got the motor back in the truck, and it did fire up briefly. It didn't run great. It sounded like it was starved for fuel. Upon further cranking and really rough running, and then not running at all, I inspected the fuel bowl and the fuel pump, and it appears that the fuel pump that we installed is bad right out of the box. I cracked the fuel lines to the fuel bowl. I'm not getting any fuel pressure whatsoever. The bowl wasn't even full. And that pump, every time that it spins over, it's just barely putting anything out. And it should be shooting that fuel into the bowl very hard. I'm gonna put a new fuel pump in today. And a couple of small things. I need to RTV some bolts on the dipstick oil adapter piece. A couple little plugs that are leaking coolant because I forgot to put some Teflon tape or some RTV on them. Slave cylinder went bad in the process of doing this project, probably from me pushing it and forcing it. Don't know, got a new one of those. A lot of just odds and ends, little things, but we're gonna fix hopefully all that stuff today and continue with the project. Oh yeah. Something got messed up on that one. I don't know what, but this one is tremendously better. Clamp, 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 clamp. Tight, filter, tight, nuts tight. Everything should be good. Oil in the truck, no coolant, but doesn't matter because there's no coolant in the truck. So, all right, you want to go ahead and crank it?
Cranking.
Okay. Yep. Maybe that's doing it. We have no fuel pressure.
So after continuous cranking and determining that we still didn't have fuel pressure even after the new fuel pump, I diagnosed further back all the way to the tanks, and the rear tank had a broken off piece of plastic and the fuel level was just beneath the pickup. So we could not pick up any fuel, and that was the problem all along. We switched over the tanks to the front tank, and we had fuel in that tank, and it fired right up after that. Simple thing, should have checked it, but just don't always think about all that stuff, especially after a motor pull. There's so many things you're thinking about in your mind. But simple issue, got it fixed. So I took it for a test drive that day. I was only able to go up and down the block twice. I didn't have a bench seat in it, and I was sitting on cinder blocks, which worked for what we needed it to, but it wasn't very comfortable. Reverse gear was just shot, unfortunately. It grabs all the other gears, 1 through 5, no problem. But that reverse gear, no matter what I did, we tried rocking it back and forth, tried sneaking it in, tried holding it down, nothing. It just would not grab reverse at all. So we're gonna have to get the other transmission that we took out originally. We're gonna send that one in to get it rebuilt. And when that one comes back, hopefully everything else will be ready on the truck. But so far, engine runs great. No oil leaks, no coolant leaks after we took it for the test drive. We need to get it hot and get it tested and have the coolant system open up, get pressurized, flow through the rad and everything. But that's just not going to happen until we get everything else done and a transmission that works, because pushing it out of the shop is just not ideal.
Good? Yep. Go. Stop.
Right now, what I'm doing is prepping the frame for sandblasting. Right now I'm just cutting off all the big chunks. There's a lot of old metal left behind from the previous flatbed that was on it. They didn't do a very good job. So cutting all the big chunks off. And after I do that, I'll sand what I can sand with a flap disc on a 4.5-inch angle grinder. And then I'll grab my Harbor Freight sandblaster, and I'll do what the grinders cannot. Don't want rust to build up. I had to replace a hanger on the left side due to the rusting through. So this is just me grinding everything down, getting everything prepped.
You're scaring the cats.
We don't know him.
So right now we're just installing the hitch. I did have to fabricate a couple of shims because of the previous owner torched the holes not quite in the right spot, so I just kind of went with it. I had to drill some additional holes because this is a 3-bolt hole hitch, and you can see me, I'm just drilling out some steel so I can shim that hitch to follow the contour of the frame, and that way it's somewhat level. And we got it really close to perfect. But just cutting a lot of steel that I had laying around and bolting it up. And there you can see that driver's side shackle. I replaced that. There's a lot of videos of that on YouTube, so I did not get footage of me doing that. But a torch is your best friend. You're going to definitely want to get a torch, heat everything up, heat those rivets up, knock them off, heat the bushing up, drive the bolt out with an air gun. That's what I did. And I didn't have to cut anything other than just the rivets. And you can see the frame's all prepped here. I've got everything sandblasted and ground that I'm gonna attack. The sandblaster I have is just cheap little Harbor Freight, nothing special, nothing pretty. And here's us working on the floor pan. Got a big giant rust hole. Got a floor pan from online, just cutting it down to take care of the hole that we have there. And you can see there quite a bit of rust. Not going for perfection here by any means, just trying to clean it up, get it solid, get it down to some good steel we can weld to, and that way when you get in the truck, the step isn't weak, it's strong, it's in good steel, and I don't have to worry about this continuing to rust. This first attempt was definitely a fail. I tried to hammer it out and heat it up and try to make one piece that went over everything, but it just didn't work. It was too cumbersome. I should have just went with the floor pan, which is what we did later on. We went with the floor pan. See, here I'm trying to heat it up and smash it in, but it's just not working. Just didn't want to cooperate.